The rains may have momentarily receded, but the misery hasn't for flood-ravaged people of Jammu and Kashmir. The capital Srinagar remains submerged and looks like one giant lake. Communication networks are completely down, and so far very little is known of the lakhs of people who live in the remote corners of the Kashmir Valley. India Today Group's correspondents across the state file this ground report.
Jammu and Kashmir battling one of the worst floods in decades. 5 days of continuous downpour, leaving death and devastation in its wake. Situation in Srinagar evoking memories of Kedarnath. Most parts of the city underwater, a swollen Jhelum turning the city into a giant dull lake. Massive rescue operations are underway to evacuate those stranded. People waiting for rescue on terraces and rooftops, unable to reach safer places.
Kashmir Valley has been virtually flowed under, and a lot of households have been stuck in their particular houses. This is one of the houses in Nigeen Bagh area, and we have managed to enter this house with great difficulty. A lot of people trapped inside their houses on the upper floors.
दो तीन दिन हो गए हैं, ज़्यादा फ्लड आ रहा है, कल से ज़्यादा हुआ।
खाने पीने का इंतजाम थोड़ा इंतजाम है हमारे पास, वो भी खत्म होने वाला है।
The 1,000 crore rupee central aid seems immaterial as thousands flee Srinagar, their belongings strewn on road, children and women crying for help.
Flood is evident on the ground here. Look at these people. They are out on the streets, out of their houses. This is the foreshore road of Srinagar, and all the adjoining areas have been flooded, and people have been forced to come out of their houses. Look at these children, most of them crying, tears in their eyes. Not just the children, even the elders, the women, elderly people, with all the family members out on the streets with no help from anyone. Government is absolutely missing on the ground. Nobody is coming here to help these people.
After an overnight communication blackout, links have been restored to the valley. But areas like Pulwama, Anantnag and Shopian in south and central Kashmir are still unreachable, with roads and bridges swept away.
We are not being able to establish communications with our teams who are operating there, those who are operating in rescuing people. And second is, in some of the areas the water is so high and water level is so high that we are not being able to reach there unless we are airlifted. So these are two big challenges.
There is massive damage to the state's power infrastructure. 750 transformers, 13,000 poles and over 24 high-tension transmission towers have been completely destroyed, a majority of them in the valley alone. In Jammu, some relief in sight for Vaishno Devi pilgrims. The Yatra has resumed after 13 kilometers of the track was restored.
The Vaishno Devi Yatra, which was suspended for the past several days because of bad weather and heavy rainfall in and around areas adjoining Jammu, has finally resumed today, and you can see the heavy rush as the news spread just a few minutes back that the Yatra has resumed. People have rushed from all corners of Katra to queue up for the registration of the Yatra and to continue their Yatra. Many of these people have been stuck here in Katra for the past several days, waiting for the Yatra to resume. Let's talk to some of them. Some of them are present here. आप ये बताइए, कितने दिनों से आप यहाँ रुके हुए थे यात्रा के लिए?
जी, हम तो यहाँ से 4 तारीख को आए हुए हैं, अभी तक रुके हुए हैं यात्रा के लिए। अभी तक माता से दर्शन नहीं हुई है।
तो अभी यात्रा शुरू हो गई है, तो क्या अब आपको खुशी महसूस हो रही है? कि
जी, बहुत खुशी महसूस हो रही है। 4 तारीख से हम लोग नालंदा जिला बिहार से आए हुए हैं, बहुत खुशी महसूस हो रही है।
On the weather front, there is relief with the dry spell forecast in the next few days. A welcome change from the two western disturbances, which led to very heavy downpour in the last few days. Bureau Report, headlines today.
I want to take you across live to Udhampur at this time. Joining us is Brigadier Shantanu Dayal. He's the BGS of the Northern Command Headquarters of the Indian Army. He's been involved in arranging the logistics of this operation. But before I go across to Brigadier Shantanu Dayal, I want to take you through what the army has been doing on the ground. As is always the case in a disaster, the Indian Defence Forces have been at the forefront in carrying out rescue operations. The ongoing relief operations today got a fresh impetus with the Chief of the Army Staff's statement that the Indian Army will not move back to the barracks till the time the last man standing is brought out to safety.
The deadliest floods in Jammu and Kashmir's living memory. On one side, in an epic battle to save thousands, with the number of confirmed dead at over 160. This is a humanitarian operation on a war footing. With the Indian Navy joining the effort today with 200 Marine Commandos, the race against time is now a massive operation, extending across the three armed forces in 3 dimensions. The war against the deadly floods in the state is being led by 212 specialized army columns, comprising of 20,000 troops reaching out to the most marooned areas. The Indian Air Force is using 23 aircraft to haul desperately needed relief material to the state, while 26 helicopters conduct round-the-clock evacuations and 10 deadly Marine Commando teams have now joined the fight. Like these dramatic images from Rajouri district, the army is attempting to respond to all distress calls as quickly as possible.
हमें अक्सर ऐसे टास्क मिलते रहते हैं कि हम पानी में मतलब कि जैसे एनडीआरएफ वाले काम करते हैं, जैसे हम भी कहीं भी कुछ भी रेस्क्यू का प्रॉब्लम आता है तो हमें बुलाया जाता है, जब सबके हाथों से चीज़ निकल जाती है। तो
4 दिन से फंसा हुआ इधर और आदमी बहुत मदद किया और यहाँ से निकाला हमारे को। बहुत गहरा नाला है, बहुत वसी पानी है। 3-4 दिन से रोटी पानी का परेशानी थी।
Most rescue operations will remain unseen and unrecorded because that's just how deep into the military effort has gone. Today, the Air Force will airlift 83 tons of emergency rations, 3,000 blankets, 45,000 litres of potable water, 1,000 life jackets and 220 tents to Srinagar from Chandigarh, Pathankot and Kanpur. Given the enormous damage to infrastructure that's also impending rescue operations and access to remote affected areas, a specialized combat engineer task force has been rushed from Delhi to the flood-affected areas to scale up the effort. Marooned without food or supplies for days, reaching the thousands still stranded in now an unforgiving race against time. Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
Tomorrow is another day for the Indian Army and the Air Force. Massive rescue operations are being planned for tomorrow as well. Joining us now, Brigadier Shantanu Dayal, BGS of the Northern Command Headquarters, joining us from Udhampur this evening. Brigadier Dayal, what are the problems the Indian Army and the Air Force are facing when you're trying to mount these rescue operations? How many people have been rescued so far and what's your plan for tomorrow, sir?
Rahul, these are not problems, these are all challenges, and the army is well kitted and well prepared now for taking on all these challenges. Let me start with the situation as it existing today. Today, the situation in the Jammu region or the Jammu division of Jammu J&K has improved, whereas the situation in the general area of Srinagar and South Kashmir remains little critical. The water has not yet receded and the scope of devastation and the magnitude of the destruction and the loss of property is yet to be ascertained totally. Notwithstanding these challenges, the army has risen to the occasion in all these places.
Do you have an estimate, Brigadier Dayal, about the number of people who could be stranded in different parts of the Kashmir Valley, especially in and around Srinagar, sir?
Yes. You see, there are vast number of remote villages where the people are stranded in various states depending on the condition of the terrain, the water and the flow of the rivers. Army has reached out to all these places, most of these places, and today we have rescued approximately 23,000 people from all these difficult areas and are in the process of rescuing from most of the other areas. The current focus today is on rescuing people from Srinagar, South Kashmir and areas which are still cut off even in the Jammu division.
So what is your estimate? How many days would you need for this rescue operation to be completed? I was looking closely at some Met reports. These reports suggest that there is a possibility that there could be rainfall over the next 48 hours as well, which makes your task that much tougher, Brigadier Dayal.
The next few days, generally the Met prediction is fair. About 7 mm of rain has been predicted for the next in the valley for tomorrow, and thereafter generally it is fair. So we presume that kind of a deluge which was there on 3rd, 4th and 5th of this month will not take place in next few days. And in the next 1 week, if we have a fair weather, we will be in a position to control all the activities and the rescue operations, and certain areas where people are feeling that they are still cut off and they are giving calls, we will be able to reach to all the places, all houses, and wherever the criticality has arisen, we will be able to rescue the people.
So what about the embankments that have breached? The Jhelum River swelled because the embankments we're told were made of poor construction quality material, and that of course is something that will be looked at separately, but those embankments have breached. Now what are the Army engineers doing to try and ensure that those embankments are put back into place again, so that if there is rain over the next couple of weeks, we don't face a similar situation, sir?
Well, as far as Jhelum is concerned, I will not be able to comment on the embankment per se, but the initial breach took place in the general area of Pampore, and thereafter at few more places south of Pampore as also between Pampore and Srinagar. As of now, the entire area is flooded. There are 4 to 5 feet of water south of Srinagar, and inside Srinagar at certain places the water is almost 13 to 14 feet. So therefore it is not possible at this point of time to create an embankment for Jhelum per se, but however the water is being attempted to be channelized so that it does not cut into houses, that it does not cut into habitats, and all these areas where perhaps a danger might emerge in the next few days, we are already taken out a lot of people. Let me recount some of the data as far as Srinagar is concerned, since you asked about Jhelum and Srinagar.
Sir,
you know, in Srinagar, we have today taken out 2,276 personnel from various endangered areas, which includes 600 from Jawahar Nagar, 400 from Indira Nagar, 176 from Sevpura, 700 from Bemina, and 400 from Tangpura. Army has deployed 42 boat teams which are going around in boats, and wherever they are observing the criticality and wherever there are people, sick people, old people, infirm, expectant mothers, young children, young and infants, they are being
okay, I'm going to leave it over there for the time being. In fact, Brigadier Shantanu Dayal.
No, I wanted to highlight one more aspect.
Yes, please go ahead, sir.
You know, we have also taken a lot of civilians into our own Badami Bagh camp, which is itself almost half submerged in water. As of today, almost 400 civil patients are being treated in the military hospital. 576 civilians who could not have been accommodated anywhere else have been accommodated inside the Badami Bagh cantonment. about 1,000 food packets have been distributed today in various parts of Srinagar, and we have evacuated about 400 essentially people from outside who are there stranded in Srinagar. Because I was watching TV some time back, a lot of people, so about 400 people have been vacated from Nehru helipad to the Srinagar airport.
Okay.
So
it's really appreciable, sir, what the Indian Army is doing under very difficult circumstances. We wish you and your Jawans on the ground all the very best. This, of course, is something we'll keep tracking very, very closely. Thank you very much for the effort that you're making, and thank you very much, Brigadier Shantanu Dayal, for joining us on Centre Stage tonight. There was a report that was put out by the Central Water Commission, a forecast on the 6th of September, which had 18 flood scenarios across the country. Not one of them mentioned Jammu and Kashmir. You'd recall how when there were floods in Uttarakhand last year after a cloudburst above Kedarnath, there was a lot of anger and uproar over why an advance warning wasn't given, while the NDRF and the NDMA said that we gave advance warnings. In this case, Headlines Today actually went back to see the Water Commission's forecast. There wasn't a single warning that was given for Jammu and Kashmir. What was central agencies doing, and why could they not predict the fact that there's a high possibility of heavy rainfall around the Kashmir Valley? Take a look at this report.
Just like last year, all this, the tears, the misery, the destruction, the losses, could have been avoided if some people had just done their jobs. It's a Himalayan tragedy all over again. The way some government offices goofed up in Uttarakhand, some organizations seem to have goofed up here as well. The Central Water Commission's forecast list on September 6th had 18 flood scenarios, but not a single one in Jammu and Kashmir. The clear omission of Jammu and Kashmir comes despite the fact that the Indian Meteorological Department predicted heavy rains in the state. The seasonal rainfall map reveals that Jammu and Kashmir actually received 250 mm rainfall in 3 days to Saturday, nearly equal to the amount it received the entire season. Clearly, a shocking omission on the part of the CWC. But even the Home Minister tried to defend the agency when confronted with the question.
बारिश की सूचना तो इसके पहले दी थी, मेट्रोलॉजिकल डिपार्टमेंट ने भी इसको फोरकास्ट किया था पहले, लेकिन होता है कभी कभी इतनी जोर की बारिश को ये नहीं पता था सेंट्रल वाटर इतनी जो अधिक प्रकृति के हादसों के बारे में फोरकास्ट करना ये कोई बहुत आसान काम नहीं होता.
There was a mechanism of providing data to the government of Jammu and Kashmir. Our people were observing the data till the 5th of September night, and the data, whatever was required, was being passed on to the government of Jammu and Kashmir.
Unfortunately, last year's tragedy seems to have done little to wake up concerned authorities. This despite crores of rupees being pumped in to modernize the forecasting abilities. Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
I want to go across live to Jammu. Joining us from there is Ashwini Kumar, our correspondent, who's been tracking very closely the rescue and relief operations on the Jammu side of the valley. We also want to go across to Tariq Lone. He's our camera person in Srinagar. In fact, he managed to make his way down from Srinagar to Jammu. And if it is okay, I'd like to start by getting Tariq to explain to our viewers the situation that you saw around you, Tariq, in Srinagar. जब आप निकल रहे थे वहाँ पे किस तरह के हालात थे, आपने क्या देखा, और आपके हिसाब से अब तक का रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन जो है तारिक, वो कितना कामयाब हो पाया है?
राहुल, मैं इतना ही बता सकता हूँ, ये जो मंजर था मैंने जिंदगी भर अपने कभी नहीं देखा. सब लोग, अपना बाप अपने बेटे को नहीं बचा सकता, माँ अपनी बेटी को नहीं बचा सकता, सब लोग अब खुद भाग रहे थे. इसीलिए वो सब लोग हर जगह फंसे हैं, कोई किसी को नहीं बचा सकते. मगर जो भी है लेट हो गया, हर चीज में लेट हो गया. वहां पे कोई रेस्क्यू में लेट हो गया. जो भी रेस्क्यू आज से स्टार्ट हो गया, जो इनको एक दिन पहले करना था वो नहीं हो पाया.
Ashwini, explain to our viewers the situation near Jammu, in the Jammu region. How bad are things in comparison with the valley, and is the situation now beginning to come under control, at least around Jammu? Ashwini.
Yes, Rahul, the situation Jammu has increased, but the road communication between Jammu and Srinagar, it will take at least 4 to 5 days, because the Up to Ramsu, the road communication has been cleared, but after Ramsu, the around 2 to 3 kilometer road has washed away because of the heavy floods. And the communication between Doda, Bhadrava, Kishtwar from Jammu, it has been restored, but between Poonch and Jammu and Rajouri has still the problem there, and the Army and the Air Force is airlifting the material to Poonch, Rajouri area because there is a cut-off of the high casualty in Rajouri and Poonch area. So these are the things that the government has to see because relief and operation has to be started in Pargwal area. That is the reason, and government has to take the priorities for that.
These are very, very tough times for our correspondents in Srinagar, for Tariq himself, because several of them have actually had their own houses destroyed by these floods. Tariq, our thoughts are with you, your family, your friends, and we hope that the situation comes under control soon without any further loss of life or property. I want to go across live to the Ministry of Home Affairs. Joining us from there is Congress leader Salman Soz. He's just gotten off a flight from Srinagar, went straight to meet the Minister for Home Affairs. Salman, you've come back from Srinagar. Explain to our viewers, what is the current situation? What is the priority? People sitting viewing this broadcast wanting to know how they can help, Salman.
Okay, Rahul, first, I've not been able to meet the Home Minister yet. I'm trying to set up an appointment. Obviously, this was late notice, so I'm still waiting. Now, the reason I came to Delhi was because, in Kashmir, you cannot contact anybody. Everything is down. Even if you want to, you venture out of your home, there's only that far you can go. And, what I was able to see is just a very small part of a much, much bigger problem. Now, as far as I can tell, to the people who are watching the show, perhaps officials of the government of India who are watching the show, perhaps people, of the government of Jammu and Kashmir who are watching the show, the biggest challenge right now, as far as I can tell, is that we need to strengthen coordination and communication between the first responders. That is the most important thing. Basically, whether it's the Jammu and Kashmir government officials and their security personnel, or whether it's Army, Navy, Air Force, NDRF, all of them should be coordinated. But the trouble is they have no communication system that can talk to each other. I think we need a communication system between the first responders that is going to be crucial for saving lives. And this should be done immediately if it has not been done already. Without that, people we cannot save, we cannot be effective. So please, to anybody who's listening, that must happen. Now, the second thing is, we have 100 boats operational right now in Kashmir Valley, 100. 100 is wholly inadequate for such a large area. You see, one of your correspondents, Shujaul Haq, his family comes from Anantnag. Places in South Kashmir are totally cut off. We have no idea how many people are stuck. How are we going to get them out? Once we get them out, where are we going to house them? How are we going to give them food rations, water? There's so many things to think about. I hope there is a central command center where all these different agencies can put up their people and they can coordinate there and then create a network by which they can communicate with those people who are on the ground.
Those are very interesting thoughts, very important suggestions, and I hope that you're able to connect with the Minister for Home Affairs, communicate your first-hand impressions so that they can better channelize the rescue operations that are currently on. Salman Soz, for the time being, thank you. If there is paradise on earth, it is this, it is this, it is this. These are the famous words about Kashmir by poet Amir Khusro. But 6 days of non-stop torrential rain has eroded much of the glory of the paradise on earth. Large parts of Srinagar are submerged, roads are flooded, bridges have collapsed. This is what Jammu and Kashmir used to look like earlier. We're now also looking at pictures that have emerged over the past 48 hours which show these same places in the condition that they are now.
The paradise is now lost. Hit by the worst floods in 60 years, Jammu and Kashmir is now submerged. The Dal Lake, known for its glorious beauty, now overflowing with furious water. The destruction, the devastation is everywhere. With thousands stranded, it's an epic battle, a race against time to get them to safety.
कोऑर्डिनेशन स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के साथ भी बनाकर लोगों को जो भी आवश्यक मदद हो वो मदद पहुंचाई जा सके.
But treating those who've survived the disaster is proving to be a monumental task. Srinagar's GB Pant Hospital is now submerged. Flood water entered the hospital complex, leaving doctors and patients stranded on upper floors. The Jhelum River, swollen by heavy rain, has flooded large parts of Srinagar. The civil secretariat in the heart of the capital too has been rendered completely inaccessible. An army headquarters is also under water along with some other government buildings, while roads and bridges throughout the region have been cut or washed away. Bureau Report, Headlines Today.